The story actually starts not in March 2010 when this life-defining moment happened. I attended the Conscious Capital Summit in Bombay, and I came back and spent the next 3 days next door in Lodi Gardens trying to figure out, I was deluged with the concepts that I encountered. And somewhere in the years before, something had been ticking like a little bomb saying, what are you doing where you are? And I'll just go back a little bit. I was born into the capitalist world, i.e. you go to the IIT, you go to the IIM, you're set, right? Set in terms of now, the next 40 years, this is what you're going to do. So I belong to the fraternity of the foot soldiers of capitalism. And then you become the colonels, and then you become the generals of capitalism. Now, one thing that defines you very, very clearly is the extreme of masculine hard driving, murderous, win at any cost, blood on the street, or if you like, sharks fighting. So if you're selling cars, as I did for a living, you were out to... So we define territories, it's called market share, right? We define profitability, it's the booty that you carry out from war. Essentially, the template, those 6 things that Nilema showed, the 7 or 8 pictures, it's all about war. The guiding document, the Bible, is Sun Tzu, the art of war. Right? You learn from there. You teach your boys. You conferences. You take lessons out of them. You're at war. And some of the movies that you see in our internal conferences are also about battles and wars. So the underlying template is battle. Cut to 2004. I'm in Airtel. And it's been 2 years now, 3 years, 2 years since I've been in Airtel, and we're building networks. This is the early stage of telecom. We're building networks, we're running networks, and a crazy event happened, and that crazy event was on the same day, at the same time. I had some of the brightest success, the single most brightest success of my life, and simultaneously at the same moment, one of the biggest failures of my personal life. And it happened exactly the same instant. The task given was launch before Reliance. We did. It's still a world record. 8 months from license to the first call from the telecom minister in India to the Prime Minister of Singapore. That was the speed of lightning that we built that network. I was hailed at that same time in TV, press, etc. as a prodigy of some kind. And the next morning, I lost my team. 2 guys landed up in the ICU, one of them with a heart attack. A couple of guys burnt out completely. Next morning, I went to office. There was nobody there from the senior team. The day after 5 p.m. is this call. We are all over television at night. Next morning, the papers are full and the office is empty. Right? And I was obviously doing something wrong. And Sunil Mittal and I kind of huddled and met. And he said, "Kya ho raha hai yaar? I mean, you were a hero till yesterday, right?" And obviously, the wrong levers were being pressed. So perhaps the idea of I'm not doing something right was sown. Perhaps at the same time, I met people like Vineet. I met people in the quality discipline. I started focusing away from the left brain stuff to the right brain stuff. Talking about people, nurturing people, getting done through people. I mean, when you battle, I mean, if you're the hordes from, descending from the mountains, it's pillage and murder. So, and at the head of that column is you. Your swords are out. I'm not afraid to admit it today. It was an extremely painful couple of years to go through. And I guess in a sense, I almost lost my job. I mean, when at the end of the day, the corporation doesn't care about what you've finished achieving. You're as good as your last movie. But if there's a risk going forward of you're damaging the enterprise, your history, right? And that came home very, very rapidly. I was moved to another domain, another company, and the hurt was at that point of time that while I achieved all the KRAs that you gave me, you told me to deliver this, right? Whatever the cost you gave me, those were your words, don't you remember? And they said, yeah, I remember, but I never told you to burn your people in the bargain. Right? So I got another assignment, another CEO position within the same atmosphere, and lo and behold, things started changing because this realization had hit home that I wasn't doing something right. And then 3 years later, I still carry the trophy, the best CEO of the year, which still sits on my mantelpiece because I shifted to the other end. The shift started there. But sometime around that time, what started also was, what am I doing? Why am I doing what I was doing? The what was very clear. And that's what they taught me back in the Institute 1 and the Institute 2. But why I was doing it never became clear.